The Tag Team Championships on the line in a one-on-one match because WCW. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, another episode of 1998 Was It Great? Tonight we are going to be talking about the Great American Bash 1998. Now, before we go on, a confession. I thought this was the show that had Carl Maloney on and Dennis Rodman. So I was actually sat down looking forward to this. I was like, yeah, I've never seen that match before. I'm looking forward. No, that's next. No, that's Bash at the Beach. Darn. It's June the 14th, 1990. I'm an idiot, aren't I? And we are live at the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, sorry. This arena has been hosting wrestling for donkey's years. Some notable things that have happened in this arena are superstar Billy Graham defeating Bruno Sammartino to win the as then F's World Championship. It's also hosted the Great American Bash 8 times. Tito Santana won the IC title there. Sting won the NWA for the first time. Right there, like you care. As we said on the King of the Ring review, show pulled 290,000 buys, it's a nice healthy number. And the next Nitro, that's a mouthful, drew a 4.0 rating compared to the WF's and Raw's 4.3. I know I talk about this a lot on the series, but it just, every time I'm doing a little bit of research for these vids, the one thing that comes up again and again for me is just like, I cannot fathom how many people are watching wrestling at this time. It's incredible. Anyway, our opening contest tonight is Booker T defeating Chris Benoit in a really good match to become #1 contender to the TV Championship. The winner faces Fit Finlay later on tonight. This is the final of a best of 7 series between these two men. Technically, it's match number 8 in the series because on match number 7, Bret Hart interfered, attacked Booker T with a chair. Benoit won that match, but then told the ref what happened, and the match was awarded to Booker. Booker cut a promo saying he didn't want a match to end like that, so JJ fucking Dillon made it match number 7. As we've said, that match never happened. And match number 7 happens at the Great American Bash. All good, although of course that it just made, when the two babyfaces do that, when Benoit tells the referee, look, this is actually what happened, and then when Booker gives up the match, the babyfaces look like just utter chumps, in my opinion. Maybe it's just because I'm a big believer in the power of the heel, but the faces just look like idiots. Like, you had the match won, and now you don't. My missus is sat watching this with me, and she basically thinks that 7 matches in a row between 2 people is overkill. It's too much, and I'm like, yeah, I completely understand that. My problem, of course, with the best of 7 series, and I guess this is one of the reasons why you don't see many of them, is that they're just too predictable. We're gonna have a best of 7 series, and you go, right, you're gonna win 3, you're gonna win 3. We'll have a 7th on the pay-per-view. In fact, I think I've got one coming up in my 10 years ago series, have I not? Between John Cena and Chris Benoit, is it? Or is it John Cena and Booker T? One of the two. I think it's SummerSlam 2004, a best of 7 series started. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, match number 7, Benoit works the leg, so naturally here Benoit works the injured leg of Booker T, including a drop toe hold and a lovely dragon screw. Booker sells it like it's killing him the second time. The first time he tried and failed to shrug it off. Benoit, oh shit, I've just completely lost my place. As I say Benoit then puts on a chin lock, hits a snap suplex, and it seems like he's working the neck instead of the injured knee. Booker turns the suplex attempt into a cross body for 2, but Benoit straight back to the offense with a snapmare and another chin lock. Benoit wrestles this one like he knows he's winning the match. He also knows that he's got to wrestle again later on, so every move he does is basic. I think that's the storytelling that they're trying to go with in this one. He knows that he's got to save as much energy as possible. So one way of doing it is to go bish, bash, bosh, really, really fast, bam, 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 get the match finished. Or you can go the opposite, and you can go the long way, but you can make every match you do minimum effort, but maximum impact. Does that make sense? That's what I think he's going for here. But what's strange is, of course, that the Booker's got an injured leg. Benoit doesn't work the injured leg. He works it for a bit at the start of the match, but afterwards just stops doing it. And you're thinking to yourself, like, just focus on the leg, please. Anyway, Booker gets a power slam, goes up top, selling both the knee and the back as he does, which I fucking love. The high risk doesn't work as Benoit wants the crossface, but gets another chin lock. Booker escapes and hits an enziguri. Booker seems to think, fuck it, right? If Benoit isn't going to work my leg, I'm not going to sell it. It's that they just goes from selling the leg to go, fuck it, can't be arsed. Hits a flapjack, the spinneroonie, and goes up top. Benoit drags him up, drops him on his bollocks, hits a superplex, rolling Jones by Benoit when it goes for the third. Booker T puts the brakes on, and in one of those, if you know my reviews, you'll know that in one of those, right, that adds a star to the match, doesn't it? Well, we're going to think probably added half a star on this one, as Benoit just goes, right, I'm not going to German you, I'll do this, and hits a bridging dragon suplex. One of my favourite moves. It gets 2, and the crowd thought it was over. Crowd were very into this match, very into it. Benoit gets 2 off the headbutt as it takes too long to cover. Craig gets 2 for Booker. Axe kick and a missile drop kick get the clean win at 16 minutes, if you can believe that, and 19 seconds. Just a superb opening. The crowd were hot. The match was long, but it never once felt boring, and they had multiple aspects of storytelling going on in one match, and I thought that was great. Easily 3.5 stars. If you want to go to 4 stars, be my guest, and I wouldn't be surprised if people rated this match that highly, honestly. Fantastic. And then, in a surprise, Kanyon defeating Saturn in a good match. It's meant to be Kanyon versus Raven after what happened at Slamboree, baby! But Raven makes Kanyon versus Saturn instead because he can. Saturn, who's not a member of the flock, does what the flock tells him to, is the only thing I can think of. Kanyon comes out dressed in his Mortis gear, but wait! It's not Kanyon. Kanyon is in fact behind Saturn in the ring. He attacks with a swinging neck breaker, but the crowd are already very quiet. It's noticeable how quiet they are after being so hot in the opening contest. He follows with a really nice electric chair facebuster as the flock come out so Saturn can take control. Lodi and Horace are out as well, so Kanyon can hit a nice bulldog / leg drop combo. Brawl on the outside with the crew, so Saturn dives onto them all. Gets rid of them, I suppose, doesn't it? He stays on the offense to utter silence until he gets a chair out. He uses it to help springboard him onto the ropes. He hits a really nice springboard moonsault for 2. In a staggering move, and this is genuine, staggering move. In one of those, it gets no reaction, and you can't help wonder how it gets no reaction. Saturn grabs hold of the ropes and springboards off the ropes, and quick as the proverbial cat, Kanyon, while Saturn's in mid-air, turns it into a Northern Lights suplex. That I've not only never seen before, but looked amazing. Honest to God, that was fantastic. Just to make sure that the crowd don't give a damn, they follow that up with a chin lock. They go back and forth to silence, trading covers until Kanyon gets an F5 for 2, followed by sweet neck break, which also gets 2. Feels like, though, at this point in the match, right, it feels like they run out of things to do. Super kick by Saturn, they go up top, and then both men fall off to the outside. Slowly. The match goes 15 minutes, near enough, 14:45, okay? And you just feel like they only had 10 minutes worth of material. Okay, so they sat there go, what the hell do we do now? And then, it's like, yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? They know that there's this one cue is happening. This thing is happening towards the finish. So they're waiting for that. It feels like they've got to a point like, right, we should be doing the finish now, and nothing happens. But what actually happens is a pair of Mortises run out, right? Another Mortis comes out, and then the original Mortis who came out, remember at the start, and they start brawling. And you're just like, what's happening here? Flatliner gets the win for Kanyon. Match was good for the first 10 minutes, but the last 4 were dull as dishwater. And that is one hell of a weird finish for the 2 Mortis to come out and start brawling with each other. That was very strange. One of the Mortises pulls his mask off, but it's Raven! He hits an even float on Kanyon, and then bashes Saturn on the microphone for being rubbish and not getting the win done. And then the flock gets in, and they all get suplexed by Saturn, and Raven bails, and that's that. Chris Jericho defeating Dean Malenko to win the Cruiserweight Championship. The title is vacant at the moment. You may remember at Slamboree, baby! Dean Malenko won the Cruiserweight Championship in one hell of a great angle. He won the Cruiserweight Battle Royale as Cyclope or something like that, then unmasked in one of the biggest WCW pops I've ever heard of, and just absolutely obliterated Chris Jericho to win the championship. But Jericho believes it was a conspiracy and complained to have Malenko relieved of the belt. Furthermore, Jericho has been ripping Dean's father, Boris Malenko, something rotten, and this has made Dean really pissed off. So he does what anyone would do and says, look, I will give up the championship to get to Jericho. Jericho just does not want a match with the guy at all. He'll rip him from a distance but doesn't want a match. And so Dean says, look, I will forfeit the championship if you let me batter him. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Wow, do the crowd let Jericho know that he sucks? He's German in the first minute, which made me happy. Dean controls with Chris submissions until Jericho can hit a crossbody to the outside, and he takes control with a chin lock because he's a heel. Crowd a bit quiet while Malenko is on the offense. This really doesn't help. They go back and forth with covers. A 10 punch in the corner gets the crowd back. Dean gets 2 off a nice swinging face buster, sorry. Up top, Jericho turns a gut buster, which, you know, the Dean Malenko gut buster up top turns that into a Rana, but once again they've lost the crowd. Complete silence, that move. Lion Tamer gets them back into it, but it's not a Lion Tamer, it's a Boston Crab. Even Tony points out that's not a Lion Tamer, that's more of a Boston Crab. So if Tony's allowed to do it, fuck it, I can do it. Dean gets the ropes and the crowd pop for that, so that's good. Alabama Slam by Jericho. Walls is counted into a cloverleaf in a sequence that looks amazing. Jericho gets the ropes and hits a sweet underhook backbreaker, then yells at Dean, "You're nothing, just like your dead father." Guess what happens next? Dean sees red, because them's fighting words, let's be honest, aren't they? And he just takes Jericho to the outside, and then absolutely demolishes, and then does the worst chair shot I've seen since the one that Lance Storm did at ECW Bear Legal 97, because he gets the chair, first things first, chair's the wrong way around, so the legs are out here, it's like, come on. That draws the disqualification, and of course, because the championship is vacant, Jericho wins the match and the championship. Do not like that finish at all. They continue to brawl into the back and then into the parking lot, and then when they start edging towards the road, Doug Dillinger comes along. No, that's too far. The match was good in itself. It just wasn't as good as I expected, wasn't as good as last month, and the crowd at some points really liked this match, but a lot of it were really, really flat. Just didn't care. I guess we'll see another match between these two. At the internet position, Eddy Guerrero says that he doesn't want to fight Chavo later on, which is nice. Juventud Guerrera defeating Reese in a crap match. We get a package. What a stupid name. And thought, well, yeah, typing it out is one thing, actually saying it. We get a package for Hoovy before the match. It doesn't actually show anything. It's just long shots of Hoovy looking moody with Spanish flamenco music playing over the top. I just don't know why. All I can think of is that they're trying to show, well, this is a combination of the match, and I'll talk about that in a second. Who the fuck is Reese, I guess you wonder. If you've ever heard the classic Tony Schiavone quote, "That's the Yeti!" Reese was the Yeti. I think this match is trying to get it so that they've got Hoovy as the plucky underdog who just won't give up, who gets the shit kicked out of him but still manages to pull it out of the bag. And that's all good, right? That is all good, because he gets the shit kicked out of him in this match. Everything he does is countered. The problem is that you're in there with a guy like Reese, who's fucking atrocious. Every single thing he does is so bad. We get a shit finish as well, as Reese used, ref stops Reese using a chair, Van Hammer comes out, hits Reese with a chair, gets a massive pop, Hoovy covers. So the idea is sound, and the people want, the pop when he won was big, so they want Hoovy to be this plucky underdog. It's just that at the same time, right, there's two things, right? The first one, why book him against a retard like Reese, who can't do anything at all? I felt really bad saying that. I've got a friend called Reese, and I'm I go every time, like, fuck you, Reese, you shit. No, it's nothing on you, Reese. Yeah, and the thing I don't understand here is, put him against someone like Reese, who's terrible. And then, the other thing I don't really understand is people like Juventud Guerrera, because he does all the high flying and all the flips, and he's got a mask. So you've taken away his mask, and in this match, he doesn't do any high flying. So it's just I just don't, because WCW, that's all you can think of. I get the idea. You want to build a new star, yeah? Get that, great, love it. happy about that. Don't understand your reasoning though, or the reasons you're doing what you're doing. Chavo Guerrero defeating Eddy Guerrero in a good match. So as we know, Eddy has been trying to teach Chavo to be tougher. One problem, you've created a monster because Chavo snaps and puts Eddy on the back foot because to the point where he doesn't want to fight him. Going into this one, you're not entirely sure who the babyface is because it's just the way that Eddy sounds. Eddy's such a good wrestler and such a good actor. He sounds convincing when he says, "I don't want to fight Chavo." Anyway, Eddy tries to tell Chavo he loves him. He doesn't want to fight him. Works as well as you would expect. Match goes back and forth. It's crisp, it's sharp, and the crowd don't care at all. It's very weird. Eddy controls for a while, including hitting a sweet back suplex. He works the arm until Chavo gets a monkey flip and a 2 off a moonsault press. Eddy takes control again on the outside, hits a brainbuster inside. He gets in Chavo's face, and oh man, this was one of those, oh Eddy, tell me you didn't just do that. He basically bends down and he's in Chavo's face and he's berating Chavo. Chavo, rah, 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 rah. And then you clearly hear him say, in the middle of this round, "Choke me, rah, 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 rah." And Chavo, predictably, because he's on his back, chokes him. You're like, oh, didn't see that one coming. Way too loud. Can't believe I heard that. And it's very clear as well. It's not one of those, I really did just hear that. Anyway, Chavo proceeds to choke Eddy like we say. They chase each other around the ring until Eddy tries to hide behind the ref until he can chop block the knee of Chavo and follows with a drop kick to the knee. Figure 4 by Eddy is followed by a glory special. The fans start chanting na 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 na, hey, goodbye, as security ejects someone from the building, I guess, because there's no reason to start singing that in the middle of a match. Eddy tells his fans to kiss his ass, so he's the heel, and hits a helicopter spin. Backdrop to the outside by Chavo is followed by a breathtaking tope con heel. He gets so much hang time, he almost misses Eddy. That is very impressive. Inside the ring, a "We Want Flair" chant starts up. Flair not going to be seen for a long time, I'm afraid, folks, because of the legal action that WCW are taking around. We'll talk about that in the future, I promise. It's so loud. I can't believe that the announcers the announcers, to their credit, completely ignore it, right? But if it was me, I would struggle because there's no way of ignoring it. It's that loud. Eddy stops and he tries to get the crowd booing him, but it just doesn't work. Chavo gets 2 off a bulldog, but the knee is hurt, so Eddy attempts a frog splash. The frog splash misses. Chavo attempts a tornado DDT. Eddy counters by a second tornado DDT, and this one's fucking gorgeous. Gets the win. Not bought for the match at all. The match, right? The thing about this match, I went into this one having never seen it and having reviewed their match from Royal Rumble 2004 recently. I went into this match with very, very high expectations, not very, very low, because their match at Royal Rumble 2004 was so disappointing. You sat there going, right, this one has to be better. And while it was better than the Royal Rumble match, don't get me wrong, it wasn't great. There was nothing special about it. It got a decent length. It went 14 minutes, 47 seconds. It was just pretty underwhelming, believe it or not, and the crowd didn't help, and I hope we get a rematch next month. We get a recap of Piper and Savage's conversation on Nitro, with Piper saying how they need to work together to face Bret and Hogan. But after that, Savage belongs to Piper. Savage was brilliant in this, and I was born at night, but not this night, and I'm not. He calls Piper. He says, "I'm not some mark" or something like that. You're like, wow. No problem with this build-up package or whatever. It's not really a build package. This is what happened on Nitro last week. I just don't understand why it's now, because the match they're on about isn't for another 2 matches. Anyway, Booker T defeating Fit Finlay in a good match to win the TV Championship. Finlay does what any good heel does, straight onto the injured knee that Chris Benoit didn't bother working. He hits an SDF, proving he's better than Benoit, in my opinion. Booker comes back with a big punch and some chops. He goes for an axe kick, but that misses, and Finlay does the right thing. Straight to the knee. Half crab, knee bar, standing half crab, modified figure 4, stomps and shit. So much better. Think about how good this would be if in the opening contest, which I rated 3.5 stars incidentally, think about how much better this match would be if Benoit had worked the knee. Think about that. It's mind-boggling. It really is. Finlay stomps the knee until Booker gets a quick 2 off a desperate-looking victory roll. Finlay backs the knee because he fucking can. He puts on what we now know as the Brock Lock. Booker escapes, so Finlay naturally hits a shin breaker and continues on the knees. The fans boo him, but he is absolutely loving it. The smile on Finlay's face is fantastic. They go outside where Finlay is just merciless with the knee, wrapping it around the ring post. Inside the ring it continues, and Booker's selling the knee after everything. I guess someone else is ejected from the crowd because, again, the song goes off and there's no reason to sing it in the match, so someone's getting choked out, I guess. Finlay jaw-jacks with the fans, and this allows Booker to start a comeback with a power slam and an axe kick. He does the spinneroonie, but a lariat by Finlay puts Booker on the mat. No selling the leg at all times, but in this one, of course. Finlay's finisher is a tombstone. He counters that. Sorry, he goes for it, but it's countered, and the counter looks awful on Booker's part. Finlay misses a charge, eats turnbuckle, allowing Booker to hit a horrible-looking pile driver of his own for the win. Being me and knowing what I like in wrestling, as you can probably imagine, I fucking love this. This was fantastic. Apart from the finish, I did not like the last couple of minutes at all. Booker stopped selling the leg, and then, goddamn, the tombstone. The tombstone counter looked atrocious and looked like Booker just dropped Finlay. And then Booker's power driver his own. It was Finlay, actually. I wanted to say Booker fucked up, but it's actually Finlay. When he was upside down, imagine I'm upside down, please do. And his arms were hanging out like this. He didn't have him tucked in or in a way that he can protect himself. He just had his down. So when he came down, he crashed hard. It looked nasty. But yeah, few botches, but I really enjoyed that. Happy days. Long matches tonight. Goldberg defeating Konnan in a squash match to retain the United States Championship. NWO Wolfpack member Konnan has Rick Rude and Kurt Hennig with him. Goldberg, at this point, according to WCW, is 99-0, amazingly. He is easily the most over man on this whole show by a mile. And the chants start before Konnan's finished making his entrance, and they are still going strong when the ring bell goes. I don't know if that's been sound sweetened, I don't know if that's been piped in, but if it isn't piped in, seriously, you can see why a couple of weeks after this they put the championship onto Goldberg. He is so ridiculously over. It's unbelievable. Matches everything you expect. That's 157, for goodness sake. What do you think happens in it? Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, Rude and Hennig turn on Konnan and join NWO Hollywood because WCW, I guess. They don't say why, unless it's because Konnan lost. But sure, they would want to, if that was the case, they would dump Konnan out of the NWO Wolfpack. I don't know. Kevin Nash makes the save in his only appearance of the night, so that's something, isn't it? Bash at the Beach trailer just looks so bad. 1998 for WCW, for all the good that they seem to have been doing in the first 6 months of the year, Jesus wept, the adverts they're making for their pay-per-views are atrocious. Hulk Hogan and Bret the Titman Fart defeating Randy Savage and Roddy Piper in an alright match. I mean, Buffer does the introductions because it's the main event, obviously. He says Piper and Savage are working together tonight because they hate their opponents. We don't get told why that is. There is no build-up package for this at all. There's nothing other than that little clip that he had on Nitro. And of course, the thing about this is that, you're on Wikipedia, go, right, so, Wikipedia, the site that never once has lied to me, tell me why these two are fighting. There's no information at all. And it's just like, oh, don't make me watch Nitro, please. So you find yourself watching, going back to old Nitro, going back to why is this happening? It's still just not very clear. It really isn't. Bret and Hogan have the Disciple with him, which is lovely. Piper and Savage argue about who will start the match, and then they work well together as quick tags and isolating Hogan until Hogan turns the tide, takes control on Piper, he tags in Bret, and they isolate Piper. There's nothing bad about this. There's nothing bad about the offense at all. It's just it's very, very slow, and the crowd are not into it as much as you'd think they would be. Choking by Hogan while the referee is distracted. Stuff like that. The usual Hogan offense, the back rake of death and destruction. Piper with the world's worst cradle. It's like he's doing a cradle, but it's in utterly slow motion. He does that on Bret and then tags in Savage, but Patrick doesn't see it, so Piper gets more beatings in a great moment. I genuinely enjoyed this, right? Savage gets a chair, and you're like, oh no, here he goes. But what he does is he goes round the ring and he puts it on Piper's stomach as Bret Hart does his diving headbutt. So he goes head first into the chair. That was fantastic. Genuinely think that was great. Hot tag to Savage leads to heel miscommunication. He goes up top, but the knee gives out from under. Remember, the last couple of months he's had that colossal knee brace on. Disciple attacks Piper with a woeful belt shot. Because of course Hogan's champion at this point. Hogan wraps the knee around the ring post, and a sharpshooter by Bret gets the win at 11 minutes and 40 seconds. There's nothing great here. There's nothing that bad apart from that cradle by Piper. Truly, guys, that was woefully bad. Crowd didn't really seem to care, which is unusual because on a lot of WCW shows that I've watched for this series and for the last series that I've done, is that the undercard can be as good as you want, but the people are there to see Hogan and Nash and Hall and all that. On this one, that didn't seem to be the case. But what I think that is I think it's because this match was on directly after Goldberg. If Goldberg had been higher up lower down the card, maybe. You can understand why Goldberg is in the third to last match on, but at the same time, I really think they completely deflated the crowd. But wait, there's more. Bret keeps the move on after the bell. Piper makes a save, and then Gene Mean comes out to interview them, and Piper's having absolutely none of it. Helps up Savage. Savage, of course, turns on him because why wouldn't he? Why? It's WCW. Come on, why wouldn't he? We got ourselves another match. With one leg, Savage attacks. He goes up top, hits the elbow, selling the leg after the move. Cover gets 2 because, of course, he was selling the leg. Savage then, because it only got 2, Savage attacks the referee, naturally. So Piper does what he would do and does a low blow. And a second referee comes out as Piper's putting on a figure 4 leg lock, which gets the win. Happy days. If we're going to give this a rating, because it lasted 2 minutes, but if we're going to give this a rating, we've got to give it at least half a star because Piper attacked the knee. Happy days. And then in the main event, Sting defeating the Giant in a surprisingly good match to win the tag team championships. As we said at the very start of the show, the tag titles on the line in the main event in a one-on-one match. And you're like, what the fuck's going on there, Pearson? And I'll tell you, because it's one of those ones that kind of makes sense. So you may remember that last month, the Slamboree, baby! Sting and Giant beat the Outsiders to win the tag belts after Scott Hall turned on Nash. On Nitro, Sting teased joining the Black and White NWO, but shocked everyone and joined the Wolfpack. This made Sting's tag team championship holding partner, the Giant, angry. So he said that me and Brian Adams, we're the champions. And on Thunder, Lex Luger and DDP defeated Adams and Giant to win the belts after Sting had interfered. But then, JJ fucking Dillon says, Giant, well, you can't do it. You can't decide that you and a mate are tag team champions. So as much as it's a pain because Luger and DDP legitimately did win the belts, you're being stripped and the titles are vacant. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to have Sting versus Giant at, what's this one called? Great American Bash. I'm going to say Slamboree, baby! One more time then. Whoever wins the match, they are one half of the tag team belts, and at that point, they can choose who their tag team partner is. It's like one of those. That kind of makes sense, but it's way too convoluted and stupid at the same time. So, come on then. So, Giant smokes a cigarette on the way to the ring. I don't know why. I don't know what that's supposed to be doing. I mean, it's meant to make it look like a badass or something. I just don't know. Tenay suggests that it's because a couple of weeks ago on Nitro or Thunder or one of them, or Saturday Night or something, Sting said that Giant needed to get in shape and stop smoking. So in a direct response to that, he comes out smoking. It's like these people who when you tell them, will you not do that, they do it more just because they know it'll piss you off. It's one of those sort of, that's the only thing I can think of. You should stop smoking. Fuck you, I'm smoking! Sort of thing. I with a French accent, obviously. I don't know why. I just don't know. Anyway. Here's a controversial one for you. Let's have a think about this one. Am I the only person who didn't like, or doesn't like, having not seen much of it, this red and black Sting face paint? I don't think it looks right. And it's probably because I'm so used to the black and white. Alright, I get that. Even with that, I just don't think it looks as good as the black and white. Anyway, onto the match as Giant blows smoke in Sting's face. Why would you do that? Sting responds with a slap. Come on, Mark. Almost done. Giant misses a charge line. Sting to hit Sting a splash. A second one, though, is countered. He tries a crossbody, but bounces off Giant, which is funny. Giant goes on offense and scores with an elbow, and then, right, he hits a genuinely great move, right? I don't say this about Giant / Big Show very often, right? He picks up Sting in a gorilla press position and then snake eyes him onto the top rope. Imagine how fucking high up you are. It's not like when Nash or Undertaker, you've got him on his shoulder, drop him. No, they're up like this. Get down. Fantastic, that genuinely looked great. Giant chokes Sting and puts on a bear hug. When Sting escapes, he hits a dropkick to the knee and then a pair of Stinger splashes to the back and then a scoop slam, which makes the place go absolutely bonkers. Scorpion Deathlock is countered because Giant's thighs are too big. Death Drop only gets 2 as Giant powers out. Chokeslam is countered and another Death Drop again. Only gets 2. So then he does a Tornado Scorpion Death Drop, and that's what it takes to get the win. And the tag titles to a big pop. Good stuff. I enjoyed this. This was a perfectly acceptable match. The Giant, everything he did looked alright, or looked great, right? And he bounced Sting around like a bandit. And then it took 3 of Sting's finishes, including a super duper whooper one, to put the big man away. Happy days. Who will they choose as their partners? Tune in to Nitro to find out. How's that sound? Long matches. You notice that a lot of them were long as times. Nothing in the dud category, but a couple were close with the half stars. Minimum Kevin Nash, no Scott Hall, so that's going to make me happy. Watched it in 2 sittings. It's a good sign. How much it takes me. I watched an hour yesterday and then watched the rest of it today. That's a good thing. I watched 4 matches yesterday and watched 6 today. That's good. I enjoyed 6 matches of the 10. The problem is that the 4 that I didn't enjoy, I enjoyed less than the majority of the ones from last month. Last month I gave Slamboree, baby! 6.5 out of 10, so I think it would be only fair to go for about the same for this one, sorry. Next, I was trying to think of 2 things at once there. Next time, I'm going to do the fully loaded from the WWF, which is, I don't know, because of the way that it's booked, it's a bit of a forgotten show, isn't it? So look forward to that one. I've been Mark P. I'd love to know your comments down below. What did you think of the Great American Bash 1998? Did you enjoy it? Are you looking forward to seeing Dennis Rodman and Carl Maloney next month? Unlike this one, because I'm an idiot. I've been Mark P. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter. Like my page on Facebook. All the details are down below. I've been Mark P. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Take it easy, guys.